Hey guys, it's Kaylee. People have been asking me all the different ways that you can use List Perfectly and for a short tutorial, and so that's what this video is. 3 different ways that you can use List Perfectly depending on your business model, how much time you have in the day, and what kind of plan you want to have. If during the video one of these ways screams out to you and you're like, yes, I want to get List Perfectly now, if you scroll to the very end of the video, I will have my coupon code so you can get 30% off of your first purchase with List Perfectly, and down below in the description will be all of that information as well. This video is not sponsored, but if you sign up using my link or code, I will get a small portion of whatever you choose. So thank you in advance. All right, so option number 1 is going to be you just want to move platform to platform. In all scenarios in today's video, in order to use all of these functions, you will have to be signed into List Perfectly, download your extension, and use that extension. Once you do that, everything's pretty seamless, and there are instructions on how to do so. So from platform to platform, we are going to start on eBay and move on over to Poshmark. Make sure you are logged in. You don't have to necessarily have the tabs open, but make sure you are logged in to every platform that you are cross-posting in between, as well as List Perfectly. So to start, once I'm logged in, I'm going to see these buttons pop up from my extension, and I am on my active listings page. I can go from eBay to Poshmark, or even Poshmark to eBay, or another platform, whatever you want to do. When I first started, I had everything on eBay, and then I cross-posted onto Poshmark directly using List Perfectly. So you don't even need to use List Perfectly other than the extension. So if I want to cross-post this item, I can choose to do it one by one, either this way, choose whatever platforms I want to cross-post onto, and then hit copy. Or depending on the plan you have, you can also bulk select. So I could start selecting, I could select multiple at one time, and then get those cross-posted on over to Poshmark. So I'm going to hit stop. And let's say we want to cross-post this Madewell top right here. I'm not going to do multiple at a time. Let's just do one by one. I'm going to click, I'm going to say Poshmark, I'm going to click copy. It's going to process and open up a new window here, and it basically pulls all of the information from your listing on eBay over to a Poshmark draft. You're going to give it a second. It's going to pull your pictures, and depending on which plan you have, which is why it's important to choose a plan that's good for you, it will pull over certain pieces of information. I currently use the highest plan just because I want the most information to come over and do the least amount of work. But depending on which platforms you are on, you might not even want all of those. So this is what it pulls over for me. It's pulling over my pictures, my title, my item description. Once I choose a category, it'll also upload my size, my condition, brand, color, pricing, and then also my listing SKU. So it's pulling all of that information over. And honestly, cross-posting from eBay to Poshmark literally takes only a few seconds. So once that were to come over, I would click my category. We're going to choose women's tops, and we are going to do blouses, and you can see it pulled the size over. And it also gives you some options if it thinks it might need to go in another size type. You'll have that option available. Are the tags attached? No, I just make sure that the brand is the same on Poshmark as it is on eBay. Color, put in style tags if you want to, add in your price, and when I cross-post to Poshmark, I always add a few bucks, so I'm going to change that to 30. Next, list. And it's as simple as that, cross-posting from eBay to Poshmark. Let me do one more in real time just to show you guys. So what do we want to do? Let's pick this cardigan right here. So Poshmark, copy. Opens up a new tab. I'll even let you see what it does here. All right, so we are dealing with a women's sweater cardigan. Pull my size over. Done. It was that easy and that simple. Depending on your internet speed, mine is pretty fast where I'm at right now. Literally, I think that took like 5 seconds, and you could be cross-posting all of your items over to another platform and getting double eyes on your items. So here are those 2 items that I just quickly listed. When you cross-post platform to platform and you do not use the List Perfectly platform to do anything, it does not record any links or where anything is on each site. That is going to be up to you and your own methods to keep track of what's cross-posted and what's not. In my opinion, when I did this method originally, I just chose eBay as the platform to determine what was on which platform. And so what I would do is I would go back into eBay and I would type in which platform it was on. And I would do something like this in my SKU. That way I knew it was on Poshmark and I could keep track of things. Something else you could do is just cross-post everything every single day so that you didn't even have to do this. And you would know, that just everything is on both platforms. I think that would be a super easy way to do it, but you would have to commit to knowing that you were going to do that every day. So that is strategy number 1. Again, none of this information is recorded in my List Perfectly catalog. These are my listed items on List Perfectly. I choose to incorporate the List Perfectly platform now. You can see that those items are not on my listed items. All right, so I've deleted those items. Let me show you another way of doing it. So this is the method that I personally choose and love only because eBay requires the most amount of information. So if you are going to be listing on eBay, it requires the most. So even if you cross-post from Poshmark over to eBay, there's still going to be quite a bit that you still have to fill out only because eBay is so robust and requires so many drop-downs. And there's just simply so much information that you're not going to be able to do and move over from Poshmark to eBay or List Perfectly to eBay. So we personally choose to start everything on eBay and then move it to other platforms. So what we like to do is we get our items listed. Once they go active, these ones just went, then we cross-post them on over to List Perfectly. So let's say I want to move this on over. I'm going to unselect Poshmark and I'm going to move it to List Perfectly and I'm going to hit copy. Same thing happens. It just loads a screen up here. And then you're going to see that imported into List Perfectly. The great thing about moving your listing into List Perfectly is there is no additional thing that you have to do in order for it to become active on List Perfectly. It just automatically puts it into your listing page. So once it loaded everything up, it automatically saved it to my platform here. And you can see because I cross-posted it from eBay to List Perfectly, it now is in my List Perfectly catalog and it now has an eBay link automatically. If I were to click on this, it's going to bring me to my listing. You can also access this screen from your phone, which makes it really easy to take items down by clicking on these links from your phone. Disclaimer, there is not yet an app for List Perfectly for the phone, but you can pull this up in your Chrome or whatever internet you're using on your phone. So I just always have that tab open in the internet in my phone and I'm able to quickly find these items and take them down. So from here, what we do is we load everything into List Perfectly. It just basically creates another set of an inventory system that makes it super easy to manage. And you guys saw how quickly it imported stuff, and you can bulk select too. So every day we just click everything that went active and we bulk select and move it over to List Perfectly, and it does everything in the background. Once it's loaded into List Perfectly, I can then also push it out to other sites. So from here, what we do after we load it to List Perfectly is whenever we're ready, we look for the ones that only have an eBay link and we want to push them out to Poshmark. So you can see all these have been loaded into List Perfectly, but they are not yet pushed out to Poshmark. So I am going to click share and I'm going to move it on over to Poshmark. And again, you can see all of these platforms that you can move it to. All right, so I'm going to list this again. And you can see as I'm listing that, this little link is going to pop up and it says it successfully added my item ID to List Perfectly. So I'm going to go back here and I'm just going to refresh this page. You can see that I now have a Poshmark link to this item, and it recorded just simply by using those buttons into List Perfectly. And if I click on this, it takes me exactly to that listing. So that is how we personally use it. And then again, just whenever we're ready, we can start cross-posting all of these items over to Poshmark, and it's just a really good holding ground and a way to create these links so that when you're on your phone on the go, you can search the item that you want to take down, click on the link, quickly take it down on your apps. All right, there is also a third option that you could do, which is creating your listings in List Perfectly and then pushing them out to any other platform. This is probably the most optimized way to do this if you're able to push the item out the same day, and if you want to use all of their crazy good additions for listing. So they have different templates you can create and use. Depending on which plan you have access to Sizely, and you also have background removal and bulk actions. There's just like a crazy amount of stuff that you can do if you use List Perfectly to list. I have my reasons for not doing it this way. I would love to do it this way, but there are not enough bulk functions for us to efficiently process all of the items that we use right now. But it can be really fantastic if you're somebody who is able to use it in this way. This would be the most optimized for your pictures, so that your picture quality doesn't go down each time you cross post. But again, this method is just not for me. eBay has so many more bulk functions that I'm able to just get more done. So that's why I choose not to do it this way, but I used to do it this way. So if you were to go to add listing and then add all of your pictures as you would a regular listing, fill out all of these drop downs, create your description if you wanted. They also have pro templates, which I also used to use. You'd have to watch a tutorial on how to do that. But all of your information you can plug in to your List Perfectly draft. And you can also do background removal, filters, all kind of stuff using photo room in here. Again, depending on your plan. Change that color to white. And you can see that, I mean, really high quality photo there. Again, depending on your plan, you can also bulk action all of these and do it all at once. I'm going to remove some of these here, but you can bulk background remove as well. And you can see it bulk removed these things for me. They also have a really cool new feature, which is using this little button right here while you're in your listing to Google Lens an item. So let me do it on this one right here. All I have to do is click that. It Google Lenses my item, and here is all the information I need for that Madewell top. Is it going to be able to do it on every single item you have? Probably not, and I don't think it's necessary, but there are certain brands like Madewell, Anthropologie, Free People, where this would be super useful to use. All right, so since I have all of the information here and I've created my draft in List Perfectly, I am going to save it. And so this would be what my draft would look like in List Perfectly before it would be pushed out to any other platform. You can see there are no links here. And from here, I am going to push it out to the other platform. So let's say I want to push it out to Poshmark, copy. Again, same process, just going to open up that draft and create the listing in here. All right, so it added my item ID. Let's go back to List Perfectly and let's refresh to make sure everything went through. All All right, so here is my Poshmark link, and if I click it, it'll take me directly to the item. If I wanted to do the same thing with eBay, I could click here and click copy with the process and hit list, and I would also have an eBay link here or whatever platform that you're choosing to use. Since I already have this listing, I'm actually just going to delete this one. And so you can see there are many different ways to use List Perfectly, and I personally love that at any moment, if I chose to change the way I do things, I could still use List Perfectly and just change the way I do it to fit my business. Here is a list of List Perfectly pricing and their plans. And if you click on view features, you'll be able to see the differences between which plan you need and what you don't need. List Perfectly is also really great. They have tons of videos explaining how to do it, everything. They have some help features up here, and it's just, I don't know, they explain everything. It's super simple. If you're somebody that's like, I'm not technologically advanced, they have so many tutorials and so many things that make it super easy to figure it out. So here are all the differences between the plans. You would want to figure out what item specifics you need to be moved over and what you're really looking for, and then determine your plan based on that. And the way I try to look at it is, a lot of people get on to me for paying this much for a pro plan, but I'm able to cross post in seconds to Poshmark all of the same listings that I have on eBay. And from that, I've been able to average $10,000 extra per month gross on Poshmark. That's like my average gross amount sales every month on Poshmark right now. I pay $69 a month to do that. Obviously, you know, there's more involved. I still got to ship and everything, but I have more than paid for the pro plan in just a few sales. Hope that you guys found this helpful. Don't forget, you can use code KayleeAlene for 30% off of your first purchase. Link and code is down below in the description box. Don't forget, List Perfectly has tons of resources that you can watch or read on their website without even having to have an account yet. And if you have any additional questions, I would be happy to help.